So I'm currently reading Amy Coney Barrett's book, Listening to the Law. And I just read a chapter about how writing opinions and dissents work. And she talks about how there are multiple drafts. Usually her lead law clerk on that case will write the first draft. And then she'll go in and either just rewrite it or rewrite large sections of it. And she also talks about how there are 20 or more drafts, and then they all talk about it. And then when they think it's ready to send, they send it to the other justices. So justices can sign on to a majority opinion or add their own concurrence. And then they send it to the dissenters, and the dissenters will write a dissent. And there's a lot of back and forth over this. And they wait until it's really perfect before sending it, making it public. And it just made me think about how much care is put into writing these important opinions. And, when we think about AI slop, or not even just slop, but how people are like, I can write a book in a weekend with AI. It's such a stark difference between what the Supreme Court is doing and what people who rely on AI for writing are doing. And I get it. I get that we are not writing something as important as a Supreme Court opinion. But if we think something is truly important, we should put the right time and effort into it. I would argue that if you're aiming to write a book in a weekend or 100 articles a day, then you don't really care either about what you're writing or the people reading it. The justices write opinions because they know that they are going to be read, and precision in language is important. We should aim to put as much care into our work, into our craft, as the justices put into their opinions, because it's going to be read by people. We should care when our stuff is going to be read and consumed by people. Using AI to speed up this process does our readers, our audience, a disservice. Why should they care about reading it if we didn't care about writing it? This is something I feel so strongly about. I said to friends recently that I want to be the number one name in anti-AI for small business owners, because I think that it's going to help us stand out if we don't rely on AI for everything, especially the craft. The Supreme Court justices and their clerks obviously think that way too. Part of it is they can't rely on AI. They're setting new precedents. But part of it is they know how important the words they write are. They care about the words that they're writing. We should care as much about the words that we're writing, or the videos we're producing, or the podcast episodes we're recording. Because that care shows that we care about our audience, that we're not just wasting their time. Automation, AI, using tech tools is not about cutting corners. It's about improving our process. Using AI to write your words cuts corners. Now, there was something else that really stood out to me in this book. And it's that in this chapter really. And it's that she says that she usually has her lead law clerk write the first draft. So she's not starting with a blank slate. She has a lot on her plate. All the justices have a lot on their plate. And so they let a law clerk take the first crack at it. I think some would argue that I use AI to do the same thing. One, not me personally, but one does AI or uses AI to do the same thing. But it's not the same thing. because the law clerk at this point, when an opinion is being written, is deeply familiar with the case. They've spent hours researching, discussing, debating, listening to oral arguments. They're not just firing off something that about what they read online. They're not starting from a blank slate either. Starting with a blank slate is hard. Or I should say, I guess Amy Coney Barrett's not starting with a blank slate. The justices aren't starting with a blank slate. And that's really hard. But the way we make it easier is not for AI to write for us. It's to log our ideas or talk through our ideas like I'm doing right now and turning that into a good first draft. Our unique thoughts are important, and AI doesn't have unique thoughts. So that's, I'm really enjoying this book. It's nice to see. It's really interesting to see how the Supreme Court works. And there's a lot of beginner stuff on the whole process that is very insightful. But I couldn't help but think about AI during that chapter. So that's my thought. I hope if you're in the United States, you have a good Thanksgiving. Thanks so much for listening. And until next time, I hope you find some space in your week.